Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Ruby, and in today's session we will be discussing a key foundational topic in psychology and education, that is growth and development. This is an essential concept for students, educators, psychologists, and anyone interested in understanding how we evolve physically, mentally, and socially across the stages of life. In this video, we are going to cover the meaning and definitions of growth and development, their nature, differences, principles, factors affecting growth and development, and finally, the educational implications of understanding growth and development. Knowing these concepts can help us better understand ourselves and others and guide educators and parents in supporting the unique needs of each individual. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, subscribe now and press the bell icon to get notifications about upcoming classes. Make sure to stay tuned to the end and check out our playlist for more topics in educational psychology. Now to start, let us clarify what we mean by growth and development, because these terms are often used together but refer to distinct aspects of human change. Growth typically refers to physical changes in an individual's body, such as increase in height, weight, or muscle mass. Think of it as the quantitative, measurable changes, like when a child grows taller each year, or when a teenager's muscle mass increases through exercise. These physical changes are relatively easier to observe and measure, and they provide an outward sign of how our bodies mature over time. Development, on the other hand, is a broader and more complex term. Development includes all types of changes that a person experiences throughout their life, not just physical, but also emotional, cognitive, and social changes. It is a holistic concept that considers how we grow in our ways of thinking, feeling, relating to others, and navigating the world. Development is more qualitative. It captures the subtle shifts in personality, maturity, and understanding that are harder to measure but deeply impactful. For example, growth would focus on a child's increase in height and weight, whereas development would encompass that child's increasing ability to think critically, manage emotions, develop empathy, or form relationships. While growth is often limited to physical characteristics, development involves the evolution of the whole individual. Now, let us look at some formal definitions that deepen our understanding of these terms. Crow and Crow, prominent psychologists in the field of education, define growth as the structural change in the body, like the way a plant physically grows taller. Development, they explain, includes growth but goes beyond it. Development is seen as growth plus all other progressive changes. This means that while growth refers to physical changes alone, development includes every way in which a person becomes more complex and capable over time. Let me give you an example. Imagine a young child who grows taller year by year. This increase in height alone is growth. However, if we also consider how the child learns to communicate, express feelings, and make friends, we are looking at development. The child is not just physically taller, they are maturing emotionally and socially too. Harlock, another respected developmental psychologist, defined development as a process that includes growth but is more inclusive, indicating an orderly progression of complexity. This idea of complexity highlights that development is not just a linear increase like growth might be. It is rather a complex process that involves advancing through stages, each building on the last. For example, let's consider a child learning to read. Initially, they learn individual letters, which is a basic level of complexity, then simple words, and later full sentences. Eventually, they read stories and analyze meanings, showing an increased complexity in thinking and understanding. This progression from basic skills to advanced comprehension illustrates development. These definitions makes it clear that while growth is one part of the process, development includes all the ways in which people grow, change in response to both internal and external factors throughout their lives. Now, let us understand the nature of growth and development. The nature of growth and development refers to the qualities and characteristics that define these processes. Here are some essential characteristics that can help us understand how growth and development unfold over time. The first point, orderly and sequential. So growth and development follow a particular sequence that is predictable. For example, a newborn first learns to hold up their head, then progresses to sitting, crawling, and eventually walking. This sequence is not just physical. Cognitive development, like learning language, also follows an order, such as babbling before forming words. So these characteristics helps educators understand the stages children typically go through, helping in setting age-appropriate expectations. Let us understand the next point, which is gradual and continuous. So growth and development are gradual, occurring over time. They are not a matter of sudden changes, rather they happen progressively. Think of how a plant grows. It doesn't sprout leaves or flowers all at once. Similarly, people develop through small, continuous changes, like a toddler's gradual improvement in vocabulary and sentence formation. Another important characteristic is cumulative. Each new stage builds upon the previous one. Development is layered, which means that an individual's experiences and abilities from earlier stages influence and support later growth. For example, a child learns numbers before they can perform addition and subtraction. Without that foundational knowledge, they would not be able to advance to more complex mathematics. Point number 4, individual differences. While growth and development follow a general pattern, they vary widely from person to person. This is due to unique combinations of genetic, environmental, and social influences. One child may excel in verbal skills, while another may advance quickly in motor skills. Understanding individual differences encourages a more tailored approach in educational settings, respecting each student's unique pace and style. All these characteristics underscore that development is a complex, dynamic process influenced by both biology and environment, with each stage forming a critical foundation for future growth. Now that we have a foundational understanding, let us compare growth and development in more detail to highlight their key distinctions. The first difference can be seen in their scope. Growth is limited to physical aspects, focusing on physical changes like height, weight, and muscle mass. Development, however, is more inclusive and covers all changes, including physical, cognitive, social, and emotional growth. The next difference can be seen in their duration. Growth typically has a limited time frame and usually slows down or stops by adulthood. In contrast, development is a lifelong process. People continue to develop their thinking, personality, and social skills throughout their lives. Another very important difference can be seen in terms of measurability. Growth can be measured directly in units, height in centimeters, weight in kilograms, etc. Development is harder to measure because it includes subjective aspects like personality or emotional maturity, which are not as easily quantified. Another difference can be seen in terms of dependency. Growth is mainly influenced by genetic and biological factors like hereditary. Development is influenced by a broader range, including genetics, environment, culture, and personal experiences. This highlights the role of education, family, and society in shaping a person's development. Knowing these differences help educators and caregivers understand that while physical growth may seem more straightforward, development requires a deeper holistic approach that supports the whole individual. Now, let us dive into the principles of growth and development. These principles guides our understanding of how people grow and develop, especially during early life stages. The first principle is the principle of continuity. Growth and development are continuous processes that doesn't happen overnight. They are gradual, building step by step. For example, cognitive skills like language start with basic sounds and evolve into complex sentences over time. This continuous growth emphasizes the importance of steady progress and patience in education. The second principle is the principle of individual differences. Each person grows and develops uniquely. These differences can be seen in various ways. One child might speak earlier while another child might show an early interest in music. This principle suggests that educational approaches should respect individual differences and promote personalized learning strategies. The third one is the cephalocaudal principle. Physical development begins at the head and progresses downward. This is why infants first gain control over their head and neck muscles and later develop control over their legs and feet. It is especially relevant in early childhood and explains why babies can hold up their head before they can walk. The fourth principle is the proximo-distal principle, which means development begins in the center of the body and moves outwards. This principle basically explains why children first gain control over their torso and arms before mastering fine motor skills with their fingers and toes. For example, a child can wave their arms before they can pick up small objects with their fingers. Next is the principle of integration. Development is an integration of simple skills into more complex ones. For example, a child must learn to grip a pencil before they can form letters, and they must know letters before they can write words. This process highlights the need for a foundation of basic skills before moving on to complex tasks. The sixth principle is the principle of interaction. Growth and development are the results of both genetic and environmental influences. For example, a child's height may be genetically determined, but factors like nutrition and exercise also play a role in achieving their potential. This principle underscores the importance of a supportive environment for optimal development. So these principles basically reminds us that growth and development are interdependent process influenced by internal and external factors that educators and parents should nurture. Now, let us look at some of the factors which influence growth and development. Hereditary. This refers to the traits passed down from parents to children through genes. This genetic blueprint influences various physical attributes like height, eye color, and even the potential for certain talents or health conditions. For example, if athleticism runs in a family, children may inherit certain physical characteristics that make them naturally inclined towards sports. However, hereditary is not the only factor. How these traits are expressed often depends on environmental factors too. So, environment plays a huge role in shaping growth and development, encompassing all external conditions and influences. A supportive home and school environment encourages learning and emotional growth, while access to recreational activities aids physical development. For example, children raised in nurturing environment often shows greater social and emotional maturity. Conversely, stressful environments can create challenges in emotional development, as children may not feel secure enough to explore and learn confidently. The next point is nutrition. Nutrition is fuel for growth. A balanced diet rich in essential vitamins, minerals, and protein is vital for physical and cognitive development. Nutritional deficits, especially during critical growth periods like infancy and adolescence, can lead to stunted growth or cognitive delays. A child who has access to nutritious food may have higher energy levels, better focus, and physical health than a child with nutritional deficiencies. Another very important factor is the health conditions. Health impacts development significantly. Chronic illness can slow down physical growth and may affect cognitive and emotional well-being. For example, a child with frequent health issues might miss school days, which can impact their learning and social development. Conversely, good health promotes active participation in learning and physical activities. Another factor is education. Education goes beyond formal schooling and includes all learning experiences. Stimulating environments and interactions support cognitive and language development and influence social skills. For example, children exposed to diverse ideas and activities often develop better problem-solving skills and critical thinking. Educational opportunities not only shape knowledge, but also foster confidence and adaptability. Another factor which influences growth and development is the socio-economic status. Socio-economic status influences access to resources like quality education, healthcare, and recreational facilities. A family's financial situation can affect a child's nutrition, living conditions, and educational experiences. For example, children from higher socio-economic backgrounds might have more access to books, extracurricular activities, and healthcare, giving them an advantage in their developmental journey. However, with proper support, children from all backgrounds can thrive. Now finally, let us discuss the educational implications of growth and development. Understanding these concepts is crucial for educators as it informs the way we approach teaching and interacting with students at various stages of their life. Point number 1, individualized learning. Recognizing that each student grows and develops differently allows educator to personalize learning approaches. For example, A teacher might provide additional resources for a student who excels in reading but needs extra support in math. Next, age-appropriate curriculum. Teachers should create lessons that are suitable for the developmental stages of their students. For example, younger children benefit from hands-on sensory learning experiences, while older students may benefit more from abstract thinking exercises. Next, supporting emotional development. Recognizing the role of emotional growth, teachers can create a supportive classroom environment where students feel safe to express themselves. For example, activities that foster teamwork and empathy help students develop social and emotional skills which are essential to become successful in life. Next, encouraging physical and cognitive growth. Educators should offer a balanced curriculum that includes physical activities to support bodily growth and cognitive challenges to stimulate the mind. Physical education classes and intellectual activities like puzzles or debates are examples of this balanced approach. Next, promoting lifelong learning. Since development is a lifelong process, education should foster a mindset of continuous learning and curiosity. For example, incorporating problem-solving and critical thinking skills prepare students for learning beyond the classroom and into adulthood. So that was all on today's class on growth and development. I hope you liked the video. Please let me know in the comments section. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching and see you in the next class.